Good morning and welcome to Breakthrough Walls. I'm Ken Walls and I'm your host. And hey, I have new lighting today. I think it looks a lot better, but I don't know. So listen, I have this dude on today named Tyler Wilcha. I didn't ask him how to say his last name. We'll find out if I got it right here in a minute, but um listen, share this out. This dude is brilliant. You'll see why. You'll see. And you may want to stay with us because he just told me before we went live that he wants to do a big giveaway today to, I don't know, 5 or 10 lucky people. We'll see we'll see how generous he's feeling, but you need to share this out. That's going to be a qualifier for sure. So Tyler will be joining us here in just a minute. So stay with us, share this out. Let's rock and roll. And we are back. Let me bring Tyler on. Tyler, welcome to the show, man.
Hello. I love the intro there. It gets me every time. I saw it on your website first, and like I really relived it just now. And like I feel like my head's just bashing against the screen every time I break through a wall there.
You're ready to break through. Look, here's one of my New York friends. She's up in your area, dude. Tina Campbell.
Hello.
And Stephen Orifice is up there too. That's who I was telling. You're in Poughkeepsie.
Yes, Poughkeepsie is 2 towns over. I'm in Fishkill, so right down the road. Wappingers, then Fishkill.
Okay. Yep. Well, you need to know Tina Campbell and Stephen Orifice for sure. So and then Joaquin, my buddy, is joining us from hell. He lives in hell, literally in hell, in Norway. I'm not kidding. Okay. It's funny. There's Jay Fox, nationally syndicated radio host. She's in Bedford Hills. Hills.
Yep. Familiar.
Okay. So Debbie, welcome. So, all right, listen, Tyler, we're going to get into what you've got rocking and rolling now, but I want everybody to know, stay with us, share this out, because this dude's going to do a giveaway and it's going to blow your freaking mind. Okay. Like I'm telling you, what he does is freaking phenomenal, but we're going to start with having Tyler tell us where he was born and raised first.
All right. So to keep it pretty simple, I haven't really left my hometown for the most part. I was born in Poughkeepsie, like you mentioned. And then I kind of grew up in Hyde Park, which is another town over on the other side of things. And now I'm in Fishkill. I actually recently bought a house here in Fishkill last May. So I'll be here probably for roughly another 30 years. So
no, you won't. No way.
No, we'll see how it goes.
You're gonna be. I have a feeling with what you've done, you're gonna be upgrading your house.
Hopefully, I mean we'll see how that goes. I'm still on the brand new homeowner phase where I'm like missing key elements to my house. Where like I'll go to clean my toilet and it's like I don't have a toilet cleaner. Like stuff like that. Can opener. One of my rooms is completely empty still.
Wow.
So, yeah, wow. I'm growing pains. I got to move into it officially.
Yeah. So you were born and raised in New York, and you said you never left there.
I never moved away. I went to college here about 4 hours north in New York. I've traveled. I've been on vacation. I went to Thailand a couple of years ago. I went to Galapagos, Costa Rica, stuff like that. I've been out of the country and out of New York. Just haven't lived outside of New York. So born and raised New Yorker from the day I was born 30 years ago.
So you went to what was it like growing up there, man? I mean,
this is the biggest thing. People that don't know exactly where I'm from, when I say I'm from New York, they're like, oh, cool. Like what part of the city? Do you live in a skyscraper? I'm like, no. I do not live in the city at all. There's hiking, there's mountains, it takes 10 minutes to get to the grocery store. You have to drive everywhere. There's no walking, no really public transportation. I live 100 miles north of the city, which was cool growing up because you can just take a train ride for an hour and 20 minutes to the city. You get drunk on the train, which is totally legal, which is pretty cool.
It's legal?
Legal to drink on a train, yeah, as long as it's like
What?
covered. That's it. You drink out of a bag. It's totally
Wow.
legal. So back in high school, college days, not high school, college days when you're of age, of course, that's what you do.
Yeah,
so it was
we're
really cool to be
definitely
near
not encouraging high school drinking.
not encouraging high school drinking at all. But it's
No.
really cool to live so close to the city and get that experience because everybody in the world kind of wants to travel to New York City. I live an hour away from it, but I also get all the cool experience of being able to hike and live in a more rural area, which is really cool.
Got it. Now, is that I'm not familiar with the area. I think, yeah, I drove through upstate, like
Mhm.
there was a bunch of lakes. That's all.
Yeah,
I
that's
remember.
that's where I went to college. I went to school at Lake
Excuse me.
Oswego, and there's Ontario, and that's like 4 hours north of me. So
Oh,
pretty much
okay.
same vibe though, same thing, just as rural.
Yeah, yeah. So, what did you study in college?
So I'm one of those kids that transferred their major, like we all did. So I grew up in a construction family. My dad's a construction guy. All my uncles are, my grandpa is all construction. So I started working when I was like 11 years old in hard labor, basically. But anyway, I wanted to kind of be like them without the hard labor part. So I went to school for architecture to begin with. And I just went
Okay.
to a local community college because I knew everybody switches their major. So I wanted to play it safe and really just like go to the community college and try it out and see if I was one of those people. And after 2 years, I got my associate's degree, which was cool. I definitely finished it. But my teachers, this is back in 2011, they were like, listen, architecture is a dying business. And, we were really close with our teachers. They're really good people. They're like, architecture is kind of a dying business. It's a very niche market. And the people that get the jobs are the ones that have been in it for 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
Coming fresh out of college, probably not ideal. I had taken a business course as part of my architecture program. We all had to take one business credit. And I loved it. And it was a marketing class. And I loved everything about it, about building websites, about like kind of just getting people to buy your product and get your product out there. It was like the coolest thing ever. So I doubled down on that and I transferred when I went to a real college. I took marketing and that's what I got my bachelor's degree in is marketing. So I have associates in architecture, bachelor's in marketing, don't combine at all.
Wow. Yeah, because architects aren't typically like marketing type,
No,
really.
not really. And that's
I
why
hate to I feel like I'm stereotyping architects, but
no, it's totally fine. You could certainly stereotype architects all day. The biggest thing is when you go to school for architecture, the only thing you could really become is an architect. So that limits you like
yeah,
crazy. When you go to school for business, the cool thing is everything on this planet's a business in some way, shape, or form. So I was like, I could even get into the architecture field with a business degree in terms of
right.
the marketing aspect of it. So that's why I did it. It was more broad. And, this was right after the stock market crash in 2009, 2 years after. So I was like, getting a job might be harder than we thought. So I want the most unniche market I could find, which is marketing, which applies to everybody.
Right, right. I didn't go to college, so I went to
Yeah.
business. I just
Yeah, no, that's fine. College doesn't really help you out, honestly. I'm an advocate against college. I don't think it's really necessary.
I'm with you, man. Unless you're getting, oh, look, Joaquim's a naval architect.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
I don't even know what that means, Joaquim, but it sounds really cool. So Robert says, I know an architect who's now a librarian.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's how it goes.
Wow. Holy crap.
That could
Well,
have been
I
me.
can't do anything else. I might as well put books away.
Exactly. Just as boring of a job, I guess.
Yeah. So during college, did you, because I know that Doug Wing, Doug's my best friend in the world, man. And he just sold a little company called Little Giant Ladders. I don't know
Oh,
if you've heard of them, but
I have not.
third largest ladder company in the world. So
Yep,
yeah, they
that's
do
awesome.
hundreds of millions a year. So but I think about like when you were in college, because I feel like I was always an entrepreneur. Like I've just always been a hustler and
Right.
coming up with new ideas and trying them and falling on my face. And
It's the best way to do it.
Right. So, what are some of the things early on in your, like during college, maybe even high school, or maybe before that? What are some of the things that you thought of, or you tried, or what led you down that road?
So I'll start with what led me down that road. And like I kind of mentioned before, my dad had me start working when I was like 11. And because I didn't know how to do anything in a construction business, I was the laborer, which is not the fun position to be. My dad would literally be like, we're going to dig this hole real quick. You see that? It's 2 feet deep. There's a pole about a mile away. You see that way down there? I want you to dig a trench to that pole 2 feet deep. Go. I'll see you in 3 days.
Oh, Lord.
So that's kind of what directly motivated me to do anything else except that, because that was, I was the guy that swept up the job, all the sawdust on all the houses. Like I was just a laborer.
Yeah.
And, not fun. I did that for a
rough.
while. And eventually when I turned 14, I upgraded to heavy machinery. So I was running the excavator and stuff, which at least was air conditioning, which is much nicer upgrade. But yeah, that really taught me like hard labor. And that's why I feel like I'm a hustler, because everything else I do is just so much easier than that.
Yeah.
And that's what set the bar so high. And now, like, when I joined my other jobs that we'll probably talk about going forward, I just like ran circles around everybody else, because I'm just so used to digging a trench for 2 miles. Like, oh, I got to sell people. That's the easiest thing ever. I used to dig trenches. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So that's really what motivated me. And then in high school, I was always like a money saver. My whole life, I would be like a 13-year-old kid. You give me $100, I would save. I probably still have it to this day. I try to spend as little as possible. I was never like a partier or buy things nice for myself. That's it. I would just save all my money. So in high school, I didn't try much. Actually, in high school, I was a completely different person, believe it or not. I was not great at school. I played video games a lot. My dad would call me pretty lazy because I never wanted to go to work, because, like I said, I had to do all the hard stuff. So I just didn't want to go at all, but he would force me. And, that's what kind of turned me into where I am today. It was really college, and college really stepped it up for me, because my dad took a big risk on me, and he invested in me and paid for most of my college, which is the coolest thing ever. Yeah. And that really like turned a light switch on in my head. Like, now somebody's paying for this. I'm not going to a free public high school. Like, my dad, like, I didn't think he was going to, and that's why it meant a lot to me. So when he was like, so we're going to send you to college and I'm going to pay for it. Because he unfortunately made too much for me to qualify for any government assistance or anything. He didn't make a ton. He's not like a multi-millionaire or anything. He was a fairly successful contractor. So when he sent me there, that really turned a light switch on in my head to like try. And that's where like this Tyler emerged. Because I went
in college.
In college, I went really hard on my homeworks and my tests. I actually studied. I did everything I could possibly do to make sure that he had a good investment in me. And that's when I started really getting the money mind. So all the little clues that I had throughout my life, like hardworking, money saving, I was lazy, but very efficient. So I would find the path of least resistance for everything, and that's why my dad always called me lazy, because instead of like raking the leaves, I would invent like a blower to blow them into a pile, like stuff like that. Like, I'm efficient to, street smart kind of efficient.
Right.
So, and that's what really opened it up. And I put all the clues together, and now college was motivating me, because now I'm getting A's on tests instead of getting 72s on tests. And I was like, wow, I'm actually like smart in some way. Like I could actually be somebody. And then it all started with this farm job. And if we want to go into my next job, do you have any other questions before I?
No, go, dude, go. I want to hear about it.
Job I had. It was one of my dad's clients or whatever. They had a polo field, and it was my job to fix the polo fields, on a horse with the hammer. Basically, it was this beautiful 1/4-inch cut style grass, golf course style. And then these horses would come in and play the equivalent of soccer on it for like an hour and just ruin these fields. It was my job to fix it. It was a very intense job, very hard, but it was way better than working for my dad. So I did that instead. And I would be out in the sun for like 9 hours a day, 96 degrees. I would just take my shirt off. I'd take my shoes off because we were working on grass. I was out there like half naked, just working my face off with all
And
these Spanish
really,
guys.
really humid, probably.
Yeah, it was super humid. There's no shade for miles because a polo field is like 3 football fields big. So you're out
Right.
in the middle of the field. There's no nice breeze. The breeze is just hotter than what you're standing in.
Yeah.
I was working with a bunch of Spanish guys. I didn't even speak their language. So like I'm out there just alone all day. So I started listening to music. But working 9 hours a day every day of summer, this was a summer job, by the way. I would do it in between college.
Yeah.
So I would work 10 hours a day, 7 days a week for all 3.5 months of summer. And it paid handsomely, and I wouldn't do anything else. I worked every single day I could, work in the rain, work in the heat. So I listened to my music, but after like a week or so, all my music I listened to like 10 times over again. So I started looking for podcasts for the first time ever. I never listened to a podcast before. And I found this great podcast that taught how to do passive income. And it was mostly website related. So it was Pat Flynn, Smart Passive Income. I don't know if you ever heard. He probably doesn't even make shows. This was like a decade ago.
I know who Pat Flynn is.
Yeah. So I managed to listen to like all 6 or 7 of his seasons that summer. And it only motivated me more to like want to make money without having to work for it. And that was the coolest thing ever. And when I went back to college, I designed my first website using everything I learned from that podcast. And for the first time in my life, I was making money online. It was the coolest thing ever to like wake up and look at my phone and be like, I made $18 last night in my sleep through affiliate marketing, stuff like that. And it was only paying me like $200 a month through this website I created. But my friends were working, 20 hours a week in the dining hall and making the same amount. So I was like, now I could like sustain myself through college. I didn't have to work actually while I was at college. Then I would come home and make a ton of money during the summer, go back to college, have my website to sustain me and so on.
Right.
That's really a long-winded answer.
No, I that's an important part of it. So you started making money off of a website through an affiliate marketing program, right?
Through actually Amazon. Yeah. They have an affiliate program.
Yep. So, where did things go for you from there?
So once I figured out that it's possible to make money online, it only interested me even more. And I every time I got a marketing project in college about like come up with a business idea or market to a target audience, I would make it website related and actually make it something I'm very interested in. So that's why also I excelled in college as well.
Right.
That's
okay. So at some point you started working for Enterprise.
Yeah. So
are we allowed to say their name? Well, it's too late.
Yeah, no, you could say their name. That's totally fine. Enterprise is most of what my career was actually. So obviously all my experience was in construction and on this farm job that paid cash, which I probably can't even say on here either. But so my stepmom, she worked in corporate enterprise. She was there for like 15 years, maybe 16 or 17 or something like that. And she was pretty high up. And she's like, I got my stepson here and, he wants some experience. And I was only 18. I just started driving, or maybe 17. So they needed a guy that cleans cars in the back, just to clean all the rentals. And she got me a job there just for experience. So I did that while doing my farm job also. And that really opened me up to the business world as well, because now I'm seeing like actual salespeople and business transactions and angry customers and happy customers and like just an efficient process that I've never seen before. Because when you're working in construction, it's just like a very linear job. It's like you sweep the floors and you're done. But in business, it's like make as much and save as much and you keep the middle profit. And that really interests me because now I'm in business school, I'm money saving. And after working there for a year cleaning cars, I started to realize like my manager was not the smartest. I was like, I could run my branch. I could run this branch better than the manager. I don't even know how to work the computers. Like, he's the most inefficient person on the planet, just like doing everything wrong in my eyes.
No offense if he's watching right now.
No, he's not watching. But yeah, I mean, this was like 8 or 9 years ago at this point.
Right.
So I was just like, I could definitely do this. So believe it or not, you need a bachelor's degree to work at Enterprise, full-time at least, to be just the starting management trainee sales position. And the cool thing about Enterprise, they only promote from within. So you have to work your way up and everybody starts at the bottom. You could be Tim Cook of Apple and apply to Enterprise and they start you at the bottom management.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and bet that Tim Cook could walk into a different position. I'm just saying.
100%. He doesn't want yeah,
He's
exactly.
not gonna be out there cleaning cars for
Yeah.
Enterprise.
So while I was in college too, my senior year of college, there was an internship program at Enterprise that was paid actually pretty well. And I went in, and it was my first thing, my first getting my toes wet selling, and it went extremely well. And here I am, a contractor basically going into a sales business world. And I crushed it. I sold everybody, selling the coverage on the cars and upselling to better cars and customer services sales as well. So making sure everybody's happy with it. And they begged for me to come full time. And so when I graduated college, they had a pretty good competitive starting salary, and I did. I crushed it. Worked my way up for 6 years. I worked at Enterprise. I ended up being a flagship manager by the end of it, running a 300-car store in an airport.
Wow.
A bunch of employees, and it was great. And the income was fantastic as well. But I was never satisfied. So while working at Enterprise, I started a videography business, which is still active today. I started Tap Tag, which we're going to probably go over very soon.
Yeah.
Definitely active today. So
yeah,
that's really the Enterprise story there.
So something happened, I think, back during the pandemic. By the way, I want to say hi to Otis Winston. I don't know if you know who that is, but he's a very famous actor and was the captain of the Ohio State men's basketball team. He's
Cool.
he's legit.
Nice.
But so during so you're doing all of this, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're a manager of an enterprise store, I would imagine you're in 6-figure income.
Yep, it was a little over 6 figure, about a 120 a year to be exact.
Yeah. So you're doing this, you're really starting. I mean, that you're not very old. So 120,000 a year at
Since I was
your age.
28, that was great. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's not bad at all. Beats a sharp stick in the eye.
Yeah.
But
I mean, we worked for it though. It wasn't an easy job. And that's why I ultimately wanted to get out eventually.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but the pandemic hit.
Mm-hmm.
And you were still with Enterprise.
Yes.
And so talk about what happened then, because that man, there were some big, ginormous rental car companies that went.
It was a wild experience. And Enterprise, just to give you the preface of Enterprise, it's one of those jobs that I always say, like, you sell your soul for money. You work 60 hours, you sign up, you're fresh out of college, you're 22 years old. They sign you onto a management training position. They pay you handsomely for the starting job, but now you're working 60 hours a week. You're tired all the time. You got customers yelling at you. You're cleaning cars in a suit. You're selling. You're ranked on everything. If you're below your rankings, you get managed on it really hard. And it's just one of those sink or swim jobs. But if you could swim, they pay you handsomely. If you sink, you just see you later.
Wow.
It's one of those high turnover, like crazy jobs that.
And this was the rental car office, or?
Yeah, this is a rental car office. Yep.
Okay. And you're selling out of there also.
Yeah, you're doing everything. You're like, it's a management trainee program. So when you start, you're doing the same job as your manager, who's also doing the same job as you. Like, we all sold top to bottom. We all clean cars we cleaned the branch. We did everything. We all handle customers the same. We all had to fix the cars and, deal with any problem that there was.
Yeah.
So it was an intense job. It's one of those jobs that most people don't really, they hire you fresh out of college, and by the time you're 30, you're usually far out of it. You kind of use and abuse Enterprise for the money, and then you get out. So I never really had like an expectation that I was going to be there for 10, 20, 30 years. So I was always looking to try to leave anyway. And I started a videography company to hopefully make me enough income to leave, but that wasn't generating enough for me to replace, my pretty solid income at Enterprise.
Right.
So when the pandemic hit, to go back to your question, that was brutal. They did a mass layoff for the first time in history. They got rid of about half my staff. When I had 12 people in my branch managing all my customers and all the problems and all the craziness, and we're just as crazy, like I was saying, they got rid of like 6 of them. And now the thing is, when you need a rental car, because I don't live in a touristy town. People
Right.
that rent from me are not renting for tourism like you would expect at like an airport. They're renting because they crashed their car or their corporate business, or they just need a car for, a second car for the week for whatever, because the mom has the other car. So the thing is, business didn't slow down at all. Business stayed exactly the same. I mean, we took maybe a 5% hit, but you took away 50% of my staff for a 5% hit on my business. We're even crazy. I had a full head of hair before I started that enterprise. I'll tell you that. And it was just a wild experience. And not only that, like 2 months after they got rid of everybody and we're working our face off, all the managers, which are commissioned on the branch profits and stuff, they cut our pay by 20%. And I'm a big money motivated person, and that like hurt. So,
wow.
And it's because even though we were doing fine, a lot of the enterprises weren't across the globe. And it was like the average of how everybody was doing. Everyone took like a 20% hit, even though my branch only took like a 2% hit. Somewhere in Florida probably took like a 40% hit. So they averaged it out. And I'm getting annoyed because I have access to all the company profits, and I see that we're profiting heavily, and they refuse to pay us commissions. They just said, we're going to pay you 80% of what you made last year. So whatever you made last March, we'll pay you 80% of that this March. So that's
really a $24,000 decrease.
Yeah. And that definitely hurt. And it was like nice to have our job, and like, a bunch of my coworkers got laid off. But the thing is, like, unemployment was also very enticing as well, because all my friends were like, oh, we're making just as much as unemployment. This is great. I was like, oh my God. And here I am working my face off with a 20% pay cut. Like, so this is what motivated me to start my business. And I was so angry at the time that I took a week off from work. I used my vacation time, which I never really took too many vacations. I finally took a vacation. I spent a week, and I've been saving in a notepad on my phone, like inventions I've come up with since I was like a kid. Me and my dad always talked about, like, let's invent this, let's invent that. And it never would go anywhere. And then we started watching Shark Tank together and stuff like that. And every time I see him, we talk about some new stupid invention we came up with.
Dude, you know what though? That is phenomenally cool. That is so freaking cool.
Yeah.
Are you getting ready to get into what introduced you and I without saying the name?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, because I want to provide the segue.
Okay.
I don't even remember. Yes, I do remember. I was looking at something else in your arena, and it had a monthly fee that was ridiculous involved with it. I already had something else without this, and I have something I'm going to show you guys. By the way, stick around because he's going to be giving some of these away, and share this out if you haven't shared it, because that's going to help you be a winner. So you're already a winner, but it's going to help you a little bit more. So I was looking for a solution. I had recently been at a couple of conferences, and everybody's like, hey, do you have a business card? I hate business cards. Let me really emphasize, I despise carrying business cards. I hate it. And so I'm like, what? There's got to be I know there's a solution. I've had a digital solution for a long time, but there's this monthly fee associated with it. So I start looking around. I'm like, start Googling things, and that's how I came across you. By the way, I was Googling. So well done. I don't think it was an ad, because I never click on the ads on Google, but it may have been organic. I don't remember, but
a little of both. I paid top dollar to make sure I pop up first, but also I'm also very good on the organic side of things.
And it may have been. I don't remember, but I've got to tell you guys, I freaking saw this. Now, I think you may have cookied me, because I may have seen you on a social media ad as well after that. Because I don't think I made the decision right away, because I wasn't sure. But I read your reviews, and your reviews, you guys listen to me. When you create a business, if you have a business, I don't care how good or bad it's going, customer service has to be number one. You have to take care of your customers, because if you do, you'll get reviews like this dude gets on his business. His business, one of his businesses, I think his primary business, is business cards. And I hate business cards, but I love this business card. I'm going to show you guys what I ordered from Tyler. I ordered a business card. Look at that. It's wooden. It's bamboo. It's not wooden, it's bamboo. Has my name on it. That's pretty simple. Hashtag help others. That's my I love that saying. And the back of it has my logo and a QR code. You can scan that QR code right now with your phone and you'll get my digital business card. What's really cool about it is if we're hanging out and you're like, hey, do you have a business card? I'll say, hey, do you have a phone? And you'll say yes, unless you're an idiot. Sorry. No offense to people who don't have phones, but so you're going to open up your phone. There's mine. You're going to open up your phone and I'm going to take my card, and this is on the iPhone, and I'm going to tap the back of it. You're going to get that little message. That little message is going to pop up, and you're going to receive my digital business card right there. You can scroll to the bottom and add to contacts, and bada bing, boom, done. This card, what is really cool about it is this. I can reprogram this card to do anything I want it to do. There's actually a chip in the middle, a computer. You're going to explain it, but there's a chip inside this thing that when I hold it up to your phone, iPhone, it's at the top, Android, it's in the middle of the Android phone, and bam, they get a link to whatever you want them to go to, whether it's your website, your digital business card, whatever it is. So I don't have to carry a freaking stack of cards, y'all. I carry one card. I tap your phone. You got my info. If you don't have the NFC scanning technology, you scan that QR code. Bam, it does the same exact thing. It's freaking genius. And the fact that it's made out of bamboo makes it very, very durable. It's beautiful. It's clean. It's not filled with, like, you can just go to my card. Anyway, I get pretty excited about it. Tyler, I want you to explain where all of this came from, man. How did you come? And stick around because he's giving some of these away today. So explain how you came up with this brilliant idea. Here you are, a construction guy. You grew up with your dad doing construction your whole life. You're running an enterprise car place. The pandemic hits. How did you come up with this?
Yeah. So, one, I'm going to hire you to be my salesman because that was a beautiful pitch there. That was.
It wasn't a pitch. It's unbelievable. It's freaking unreal.
I want to buy it now. How I came up with it is a couple of things all kind of played into it. One, I was handing out hundreds of thousands of business cards at Enterprise. And the annoying thing was that Enterprise I was a manager, so we're commissioned. So I have to check my expenses on everything. I was fully responsible for the profits, the break even of everything about my brand. So like I had to pay for the potholes in my parking lot. I had to pay for my employees' hours, their benefits, their business cards. And the thing is, I would pay for these employee business cards that would come out of my profits, and then they would transfer branches or get promoted because it's one of those jobs where you get promoted very quickly. And then boom, now I have 500 of their business cards I just paid for that are completely useless, that say their name and that they worked at, Poughkeepsie, New York on their business card. So what do? I just throw out 250, 500 business cards every single time. That's on top of handing customers your business card and literally watching them throw it out in the garbage before they leave the room. So it's just one of those things. And I was like, that's a huge waste of paper. It's not efficient. Then COVID hits and I had this idea in my phone already. And the reason why I had it in my phone is because I'm big on the smart home. You could see my Alexa right there. Actually, she's hooked up to every light switch I have. I'm big on the smart home thing.
Same here.
Big on it. I mean, she's listening to everything I'm saying right now, but whatever.
Yep.
So like 2 years prior, I found a bunch of ways to program NFC tags to your smart home where you could tap your phone to an NFC tag and turn the lights on. That's a real thing.
What?
Yeah, using Siri shortcuts in your phone or on Android, you could program to say when NFC tag is tapped, then turn on light. If light is on, then turn off, and boom, and you just program, using Siri shortcut. So I was really big into that. So I bought a couple of NFC tags on Amazon for like super cheap, like stickers, and I had them around my house, and I kind of learned how to program them, and I started to understand them a lot more. So I came up with the idea, like, let's sell smart NFC tags because nobody was really doing that. This wasn't business card related at all. Fast forward, pandemic happens. Now here I am throwing out business cards. Now I see my future at Enterprise is dwindling because I was like, not only did I want to leave there anyway, but now the pandemic really pissed me off, and I'm just like,
and they cut your salary by 20%.
My salary, so you only have like that motivation you get sometimes in life where you just have like your motivation off hatred or like a breakup or something like that. Like it was that motivation. So I took a week off of work and just went like hackathon style on designing a website to sell coasters. Not even tap tag, coasters.
Coasters.
I had a laser engraver.
Drink on.
Yeah, exactly. I had a laser engraver that I bought like 6 months prior just for fun. It was like $300 on Amazon, and it was awful all around. And it only engraved 4x4 inches, like the smallest area ever. So I was like, what can I engrave that's within 4x4 inches? Like a coaster. Boom. It's all 4x4 inches. So I started engraving coasters. I was like, I want to make these coasters as cool as possible. So you can make a QR code that connects guests to Wi-Fi if you wanted to, where you scan a QR and instantly connect it to Wi-Fi without having to enter a password in. So I added that to it. And I was like, how can I make this cooler? So I added a bottle opener to it where you could, use the backside of it to open up a beer.
In case you're getting drunk on the train.
In case you're getting drunk on the train. And then I was like, I want to make this cooler. So I added a magnet to it to stick it to your fridge. And I was like, I want to make it cooler. So I was like, what if I add an NFC tag into it and make it a smart home? So I did that, and then people just didn't understand how to program Siri shortcuts because it is a little hard. So I was like, what if I find something on the web and program a link into it, like a random cocktail generator? So every time you tap it, it says how to make a margarita. Tap it again, how to make a mojito. Thought that was really cool. It didn't really sell that well, honestly, because nobody's searching NFC Wi-Fi connecting coasters on Google. So I sold like 2 of them, and I was pumped though because I was like, I just made $100 or whatever. I was like, what else can I fit into this little 4x4 square here? So I was like, maybe a business card, and I could kind of use the same technology. Instead of linking to a random drink, I could link to Facebook or link to Instagram or something like that. So I started making those, and my friend was like, oh, Linktree. You should do Linktree so you could do a bunch of things. I was like, oh, that's great. So Linktree, you could add your Facebook, your Instagram, a couple other things. There's a bunch of stuff like it, like you were mentioning, you have your own business card. So that's what opened me up to this digital business card world. And so I search it, and I'm like, this is a great idea. So I search it, and it doesn't really exist. There's like one person doing it at the time. And I was like, I could just destroy them because I have all the marketing knowledge. And like, the thing is, like, how many pizza shops are in your town? Like 10. Like, because there's a pizza shop doesn't mean you can't open up another one. So that's kind of like my theory about it. Like, just because there's an NFC tag company doesn't mean I could, I just want a piece of the pie. I'm not looking for everything.
Right.
So I started with the metal card. This is my bread and butter here.
Hold on, let me give you full screen.
This is
dude, that is freaking awesome. What the heck is that?
So it's an engraved metal card. It has an NFC chip in the back of it. And when you tap your phone, same thing. It just transfers info to your phone, just like you showed before. And I made this because I wanted it myself. And here I am at Enterprise, and I was just like, it would be so cool if I had a metal card to do the same kind of thing with. And I put that on my website, and I was selling them like lights out, like best. I put it on Etsy because I had an Etsy store at the time for the coasters as well, and I sold a bunch there.
I thought Etsy was just for chicks that do knitting and stuff.
So that's the funny thing, because when I used to go to camp as a kid, there was soccer camp, there was dodgeball camp, there was this, and there's arts and crafts camp. Guess which camp I went to that I volunteered for? It's like, Dad, I want to go to arts and crafts. So here I am, just one dude in all 30 girls, all making bracelets and like macaroni art, and I'm loving it. I'm like making.
I know, right?
Yeah, I'm into it. So I'm a super like creative person. Like I have a Cricut laser engraver. Like I like arts and crafts a lot.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's where it really started. And I was like, I want to expand this. So that's when I went into my bamboo cards. This is my
Hold it,
Squid Game card.
hold that metal card back up again. Is that
Yeah.
like
So
that's an
this is,
ace of hearts? That is freaking awesome, dude.
yeah, really cool. I wish I brought up more. They're all in my basement right now because that's where I work out of. But then
Wow.
I got the bamboo card like you have. This is my Squid Game card. Has my number on the back of it as well. And then I also have cherry cards. Same thing, all laser engraved, just darker wood. I have
What the
plastic
hell's a
cards.
cricket? What? My wife wants one now. What is that?
Oh, it cuts out it cuts out materials, I guess is the best way to describe it. It
Oh,
cuts out
okay.
vinyl. So, if you think about like when you have a thermos and it says like live, laugh, dream on it, like you cut out that and stick it to it, for example.
Oh, gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha, gotcha.
So I use that for a couple products as well. Like I sell these cool Spotify plaques that has your picture and like a song title on it, NFC chip on the back of it. So now when you tap it, it plays the song on your phone.
What?
I use the Cricut for the vinyl to stick the song name to it, for example.
Wow. That's incredible, dude.
Yeah.
All right. So what was the article? Did you send me the article, or you sent me an article? Weren't you written up in Business First or something?
Yeah. So that was really cool. And that was a huge, it all started with this one random lady named Joelle. She runs EA Direct Connect. She runs like a company of like administrative assistants. And she reached out to me saying, I want 100 cards. I was like, perfect. Here's the price. She's like, no. I want them for free. I was just like,
No.
maybe. Like, why? Why do you want them for free? And she's like, well, I run a Facebook group and I work with a ton of basically the secondhand man to the CEO. I run a group of that. And she's like, I think you have a lot of potential if I sent out a card to each of them. I was like, let's do it. Yes, sure. Because enterprise teaches you a yes mentality. Say yes to everything and eventually things will line up. So I was like, all right, let's do it. So I fronted the cost of the cards, the shipping for each card, the designs on each card. She sent out 100 cards roughly. And the next 2 weeks, I made all my money back times 30. And
wow.
one of the people in her group was a Business Insider editor that I sent a free card to. And she was like, tell me your story in 5 sentences. I was like, okay, here you go. And she was like, I'm going to type up a whole article on you. We're going to do an interview. And I had an article in Business Insider, which is crazy because it was my home screen when I was in college and I would read up on Business Insider stuff. And here I am with my face on their front page for a day, which was like the coolest thing ever.
Dude, that is so freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I framed it and it's in my basement, actually, next to my desk. I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
You need to put that out somewhere and create a card and say, hey, if you want to tap that.
I have an NFC tag on the back of it. Tap it to go to the article. Really cool. I have NFC everywhere, man.
I love it, dude. That's so awesome, man. Wow. Yeah. So you went from working at Enterprise, which is, by the way, in the little town I live in, Enterprise is the only rental car company.
Yeah.
But which now I'm never renting from them again. So I'm kidding.
They're a good company. They taught me a lot.
I'm kidding. But you went from working there, got a pay cut, and you're like, I can't deal with this anymore. And
yeah. So it wasn't like I'm going to quit my job and start a business, because I don't recommend to do that to anyone. You have to overlap it. And that means you just have to work a lot harder for a minimal amount of time. So what I was, Enterprise is one of those jobs you work like 60 hours a week, especially as a manager. When somebody calls out, you just work. If somebody calls out on your day off, you just have to go in. It's just like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. You're the manager. You have to figure it out.
Look, Jay Fox wants to come over just to look at the junk you passed on.
Yeah. I'll sell screenshots of my note app for $100.
Right. Go. That's so funny.
What was I saying?
You're saying don't quit your job.
Oh yeah. So you have to overlap it. So when I started Tap Tag, it's not like I quit that day. I started Tap Tag and I made $12 in my first month. And I was like, that's cool. This is a slight potential. And I made like 100 my next month. I was like, this is cool. If I could get up to like 1,000, like I'll feel much safer. And like, keep in mind, I have my videography business and still my website I designed when I was 19, that still pays me money to this day passively, which is really cool. So I was like, with videography, an extra 1,000 a month and my site from college, I was like, I could maybe quit my job and live at the bare minimum if I had to with the pandemic, because nobody knew if we were going to have a job tomorrow when the pandemic first happened. People were getting laid off left and right. So I overlapped it. And then by my third and fourth month, I started making like $2,000, $3,000, but I was like, I'm not going to quit yet. Keep in mind, I was making like 120K a year. So that's like 10K a month. So I was like, I'm not even close to where I'm at. And I was only living in an apartment. But my apartment was just a 1-bedroom. Here I am. I bought a bigger laser engraver. Because the first one I had, that cheap one, it didn't ventilate. It was loud. It was just my poor girlfriend. She was just like, smoke filling the room. We're in the middle of February in New York. We're opening up all the windows and now we're freezing ourselves out. So, and she would just complain about me working so much because I would work 60 hours a week at Enterprise to come home and work another 4 or 5 hours fulfilling orders. Yeah, I was doing that for a long time, and she hated me for that. So I did the appropriate thing and got rid of her. So I'm single now.
He said, "I'm single now."
Yeah,
he's just throwing that out there, ladies.
That side comes first. So if you're in my way, see you later. So
I love it, dude. That's freaking awesome.
So, and there's actually, after Enterprise, I got another job temporarily, which I didn't mention in that Business Insider article. I mentioned it to her, but she's like, we're just going to get rid of that. Because I was like, if I spent more time on TapTag, I can make much more money. I could write more content. I can make more videos. I could open my market even more. So I'm just working too much. And all the hours I'm spending are fulfilling orders. So I worked for 6 months at Enterprise while doing that, until I built my income from TapTag to the point where I was getting comfortable, because I needed averages. Just because you make 10 grand in a month doesn't mean you could quit your job. You want 10 grand in a month multiple times over again.
Right.
So I found another job that my friend had, and it was 40 hours a week. It was work from home, which was like work from home. I don't have to drive to work anymore. That's the craziest thing on the planet. So I found a digital marketing job working from home for 40 hours a week. And my friend was like, it's one of those jobs where you could work really hard for 20 hours and just take the rest of the week off. He's like, it's, 40 hours of work you could squeeze into 20 hours. So like, that's exactly what I need. I don't mind working my face off for 20 hours to have the rest of the week open so I could spend time on TapTag. And I planned on doing that job for another year or two as I built TapTag up. But then that article really came out, and that just blew up my business. And I went from, making $4,000 extra a month from TapTag to making over $20,000 a month from TapTag. So I was like, all right, now I'm making more in the couple hours I'm spending on TapTag than the 40 hours a week I'm working at my digital market. So I was like, see you later. 5 months of that, see you later. And I went full time for myself last May. And, that's always scary because I also bought a house in May. Yeah. And so I quit my job and bought a house. They say the 3 biggest crazy challenges of your life are buying a house, quitting a job, and getting married. And I did 2 of the 3 all in the same month.
Right.
So
you almost married that girlfriend though, right?
No, not even close. Hope she's not watching. But so that's really what it came down to. So I quit Enterprise in January, worked at the other job, and quit that job in May. And then I went full-time TapTag. And once I went full-time, it just skyrocketed even further. And now I spend my days fulfilling orders, helping out customers, and doing what I love, which is just being arts and crafts. So
and I gotta say, when I placed my order, and it was like $40. I don't even remember what
the bamboo is $30. Yeah.
30.
Yeah.
$30.
Texas included.
That's crazy, man. You need to raise your prices. I'm just going to throw that out.
I know.
But I only paid $30 for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have your credit card on file still. I could probably charge you more if you want.
Yeah, you probably should. But look, you guys, it's engraved. It's like down in the wood. It's crazy. For $30, there's an NFC tag in there. I never have to carry another freaking business card again. This is it. People say, you have a business card? Absolutely. I'm glad you asked. And I have one of these wallets that, everything pops out. So I just keep it in the back, and as soon as I do that, it's right there. I pull it out, tap it, done. It's freaking amazing.
There's a big wow factor that comes with it too, because luckily, this is an early adopter phase of the whole, scale that's there. And when you pull it out, people are like, why, like, what do I do? And then when you just tap into their phone and it works, people are just like blown away. And like, they're not going to throw your business card away when they leave my lobby of Enterprise. They're going to walk away saying that was the coolest thing I've ever seen. And boom, that's sales for you. Like you just had an icebreaker. You made an interaction.
Give the audience some, ideas for what they could use this thing for. Like, I have it going, you can go to kensbizcard.com. That has my cell phone number. Don't spam me. Do not spam me. But this goes to kensbizcard.com. If I wanted, I could reprogram this, right?
Yes, you can reprogram it using a free app to pretty much any web link that you want. So smartphones understand web links. So there's a lot of workarounds we could do with that. You could program just your Instagram into it. It goes right to your Instagram. Program just your Facebook, or you could program what you showed before, which goes to like a digital business card, which kind of shows you a bunch of stuff. Yeah. Or what I have on this one card right now. So I just opened this. Let me unlock it with my face. So if you tap it, this goes up to your actual contact card where you get to save to contacts right then and there.
How did you do that?
Yeah, so it's another free site called vcard.link, and there you could see how to do it on my website if you want.
Wow.
And that way it goes straight to it, bypassing the need to go to a website, and it's just one less click. And then, like I said, you could do smart home automations. You could do pretty much anything. And NFC is in the last 5 years worth of phones. So Apple really came out with Apple Pay when they got rid of the home button. And that's what uses NFC when you tap to pay. So if you have a phone without a home button, basically, so 5 years ago, it'll have NFC that just works automatically.
Wow.
And yes, vcard.link is the site. It's very straightforward, simple to use. If you go on taptag.shop, it says how to make that very quickly and easy. And you can put it in your email signature. You don't have to use it for the card. You could just use it for your own purposes if you want to as well.
So, wow, man. Look, Joaquin's like repeating what I said. I mean, dude, there are so many freaking possibilities. What I love about it is, if I go, I as we already talked about, I went to what did I say? What's it called?
Taplink, I think you mentioned, yeah.
Yeah, taplink.at. And I think I spent $50 for the year, 54, something like that. But I can embed all kinds of stuff. I've got a form embedded in there for you to contact me. I've got you can call me from there, text me from there. You can go look at testimonial videos. All of my different social media is on there. There's my books are in there. I've got some interviews I've done here on the show. Like it's crazy. And then down there at the bottom, you can click and that goes directly to my V card. Like you just showed. Actually, I'm going to change that now and that's the other thing about using a site like this is I can go in and change it and it's instant. And anybody that has that link gets all of the changes whenever they want. It's a live website. Like it's a website. Yeah. So what are I can't I really need to emphasize this because I read all of these reviews. Even though it's only $30, it's still $30, right? So I'm like, am I going to spend $30 on this guy? Is he legit? Is this I didn't know it was just one dude. I mean,
I try to make it so it sounds like a whole company, but really I'm doing the work of a whole company by myself.
You are. And dude, it is absolutely unbelievable. Look at what Jeff says. And he's right. This is the most impressive creation I think he means I've seen in business in years. When I reached out and I said, I forget what I asked you. I sent it because I kept reading these things saying the customer service with this company is unbelievable. Tyler really helped me out. And I kept seeing Tyler. I'm like, Tyler must be the head of customer service over there or something. I'm thinking in the back of my mind. And so I went and I reached out to you and said something like, it was something about the QR code and my logo being on the back of the card. And you're like, yeah, that's no problem. And I'm thinking, okay, he's going to come back and say it's an extra $30 for that. You
Nope.
said nope, it's free. It's included. I'll do
I
it.
do remember that conversation now. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
funny.
And the QR code works. I got that. You can generate there's millions of places to go generate a QR code.
Yep.
So for free, like you can have a QR code go to any URL in the world. So, dude, are you still killing it?
Yeah, no, everything's going great. And yeah, I got like companies hitting me up now. And the thing is, like, when I first came up with this idea, I thought it was going to be college kids sharing their TikTok to pick up some girl at a bar or something. Like, I was designing this for kids. Actually, my first tagline was NFC products that don't suck, because I thought that was funny to college kids because that was my demographic in my eyes.
Wow.
Fast forward 6 months and I don't sell to any kids. It's all CEOs of companies and business owners and like top bigwig people, ordering sometimes 50, 100, 200, 500 for their whole office.
Oh.
Yeah, for their whole office. Yeah.
Because you don't need, that's the thing is, I think about this and I'm like, you don't need to, or you need one. That's it.
Just one
just
per
need
person.
one.
Exactly. And then they'll order it, because the thing is, it sells itself in a lot of ways. It's COVID friendly during the COVID times. You're not actually handing anything to anybody. It's sustainable because you're not wasting business cards. So you have, it makes you feel better about the environment. And I also donate to One Tree Planted. So we plant trees as well. And it also saves you money, as a business owner. When I go back to buying 500 cards for my employee that, people either throw them out or they get promoted, you're buying one for $30 and you could easily use this bamboo card for years, as long as you keep in fairly decent shape. And the metal card lasts forever. You can have that thing for the next 50 years. So, and that thing goes for $60. So $60 once, it's the same price as 250 business cards, and it'll last you for 30 years.
And you know how people will use a credit card or a driver's license to open a door that's, so you could use the metal one for years, breaking and entering also.
Yeah. It's a theft deterrent. It acts as a ninja star in case somebody's approaching you aggressively.
Yeah, right.
It weighs the same as an Amex Black card. So it's thick and heavy.
That's freaking amazing, man.
Yeah.
So I think for everybody watching, first off, hopefully you shared this out. Tyler is going to do a giveaway, and how do we do this, man? How do you want to do the giveaway?
I'll leave it up to you. How about this? We could either do 5 bamboo cards and a metal card, or we could do 10 bamboo cards, whatever, if you want to hit more people with more cards, or maybe please one person with a metal card, which is my fanciest card. However you want to do it. We could be some of the people watching right now to reward them for their attention for an hour.
Yeah.
Or we could do something on your Facebook page, whatever it may be.
Jay, does it come in Metallica?
I could do a lot of things. I have brass cards as well. The brass engraves to be a gold color instead of the silver, which is a little fancier.
What?
Yeah, I don't have one near. I should have pulled up a bunch of samples. I only have the 3 right near me.
How long would it take you to go get a brass one?
Literally 10 seconds, I think.
Go get one.
I'll be right back.
I'll wait. This is unbelievable. So here's what we're going to do. Let me think. Here, I got it. Go to kensbizcard.com or scan that QR code right now. Scan that QR code. I'm going to hold it up here for a minute. Open your scanner, your QR code reader, if you're on iPhone.
All right.
If you're on iPhone, open your camera and go to Ken's Biz Card. The first 10 messages I get now, not text messages, there's a form at kensbizcard.com. If you fill that out, the first 10 people to fill that out, I'm going to get your info to Tyler, and you guys can make magic.
I need your name, email, and shipping address, just so you know.
Okay, well, we'll get that. We'll get them connected with you after they reach out to me. So look, Beverly's like, this product is awesome. Tina Campbell, Tina lives up in your area there. She wants
to hand deliver it to her.
Yeah.
So here's the brass card.
Okay.
It just engraves to be gold. So it's compared compared to the silver, it's a gold. So these are a little bit more because they're made out of real brass. So just the material alone is more expensive. But I also have the steel card in white as well, where I can engrave in white.
Dude,
yeah, I'm out of breath now because I ran all the way downstairs.
wow, that is so freaking amazing. Hold that white one back up and the brass one back up.
So all right, we got brass and we got the white.
And then you have the other one, the first one you showed.
Yep. And then also the steel. So this engraves to be silver.
That
is the same as the white one. Same engraving, but just two different colors there. And then this is another brass one as well. I put your name on it. This one's actually a misprint, so it's off center. I just grabbed it on my way back up.
Oh yeah,
a little off center, but it's brass, so it's a little kind of fancy looking there. And then I got the two wooden cards, which is cherry and then bamboo, which is
I didn't see cherry. I didn't know cherry was an
the
option.
cherry is pretty cool too. It comes. I like the contrast a little bit better than the bamboo, honestly. But the bamboo is really cool because it's very lightweight. So
I mean, so in theory, you could have multiple cards doing the same thing. Just
and
use them.
I sell everything. I also have
it's like having a different pair of shoes.
Same thing. You throw this on your hand and tap your bracelet to it. I have it on the back of my phone. Sticky tags. You can stick these to your desk, your counter, your phone. Same thing, same technology. It's all the same.
I saw that, but I use one of these chargers, wireless chargers. Mm-hmm. Will it still charge?
So if you put it at the bottom of your phone, because if you put it at the you don't want to put it at the top because it'll scan it every time you open your phone.
Yeah, I don't.
But in the middle, it might affect your wireless charging, so I wouldn't recommend it. At the bottom, it works just fine because I have a wireless charger.
Even through the case, I have a plastic case on this.
Works through the case. Yep, totally fine.
Wow.
So I got a bunch of different sticky tags. I'm inventing this new one. So this is a giant NFC tag, the size of my hand. And this is going to be for restaurant menus because I'm going to try to sell the restaurants so you can tap or scan for their menu, stick this to the counter as a sticky back on it. I got a bunch of ideas. It's just a matter of time because I'm running the show by myself.
Dude, you are I love what you're doing. You're a genius.
Thank you.
This is amazing. I congratulations to you and all your success. And I put that out there for anybody that goes to kensbizcard.com and fills out the form to get in touch with me. Then I'll connect you with Tyler and the first 10. Is that, how did you say, the first 5 or how?
So whatever you want to do, we could do 5 bamboo and a metal card or 10 bamboo cards, one or the other. Take your pick.
We'll do 5 bamboo and 1 metal card.
All right, and the metal is somebody special.
Yeah. Yeah. So me.
It's like, Ken Walsh signed up 10 times over again. That's weird.
Yeah. I was the first one to fill it out. So. Yeah. I love the fact that you've gone from I mean, 10 grand a month isn't bad money. But it's not something that you absolutely loved, that you were passionate about.
I just get yelled at all day by customers.
Man.
Yelled at.
and this is like, people love this, man. I remember when I got, and the presentation when you the presentation of it when you delivered it was like, I felt like I was opening up an Academy Award or something.
Yeah, it's like a black envelope with a gold seal on it.
Oh yeah, man, it's freaking amazing. Dude, you've got the customer service part down. You have it down, nailed. It's freaking amazing. It's amazing.
And I ship within 24 hours too. That's my biggest competitive advantage. All my competitors take 2 weeks to even get it out, especially custom orders. Me, I'm going to ship the same day half the time. Which is pretty cool.
That's amazing, dude. Are you going to the post office? Is that how
I fulfill orders from about like 10 to 3, 4 o'clock every day. And then I go to the post office every day with 20 or 30 in my hand and ship it out every single day. So if you ordered right now, I could have it shipped today because after this phone call, I'm going to,
dude, you need to get a girlfriend that'll help you.
That's what I'm saying. I just need that emotional support, but I got a cat. He's actually the CFO of my company. He runs the show. So
that's so funny, dude. Tyler, congratulations. We're going to be longtime friends, I can tell. And I see amazing things happening for you. Dude, you're a great guy. and this is your very first podcast.
This is my very first, other than the Business Insider article, which was my center of attention that for the first time in my life. This is my second center of attention live in front of people, which is even crazier and a lot scarier, honestly. So,
well, I don't think that it's and Jay Fox, it's kensbizcard.com. kensbizcard.com. Just reach out to me. Who, the first 10 people to reach out, or 6 or 5, 5 bamboo, 1 metal. I'll connect you with Tyler. And look, it's $30. So if you're hoping for a free card, okay. But we're talking $30 or whatever it is. So I think the metal one was a little bit more.
Yeah, the metal starts at 38 with free text, but if you want a logo, it's an extra $20, like your own personal logo.
Wow, that's
and
amazing.
The brass card is $60 because it's brass, and brass is pricey on my end as well. So,
sure.
Yeah.
But again, it's incredible what you're doing. These are things like, this is bamboo. So yes, technically it could break. Technically,
even if it lasts for a year or two, you made your money back and then some.
I mean, you're talking plus. Look, plus it's like, it's cool. Like, it's just cool. Nobody else, like, I pull this thing out, other people are like, what is that? Like, here, give me your phone. Done. I'm done. Now you got my business card. You don't have to worry about carrying it around in your pocket at the conference or whatever. You've got my business card. It's right there in your contacts. So listen, I'm blown away by it. As soon as I got this, and I'm like, I got to find out who's doing this. And I reached out to you, which we had gone back and forth about the logo or whatever. And I said, dude, and I also complimented your customer service. I was like, this is insane. And anyway, congrats, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on the show, and everybody listening. I really appreciate it all.
Yeah. So, all right, Tyler, stay with me. Everybody, if you didn't share this out, redeem yourself right now and share this thing out. Seriously. And please help this guy. Let's support him. Get on his website, taptag.com.
Taptag.shop.
Shop.
Taptag.shop. Pretty easy. And if you search it, I pay a lot of money to pop up first. So click the ad if you want to.
Yeah. So very well done. Everybody make sure you follow Tyler on social media everywhere too. What's the best place for that?
So my videography name is That Drone Guy Ty, because that's how I started that business with, a drone hobby.
Yeah.
And so that's my handle for everything. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, That Drone Guy Ty.
Okay, but we need to get you on TapTag.
And then taptag.shop, which is, everything's interlinked. That's the thing about owning multiple businesses. I recommend everything. Video service also has my TapTag stuff on it, and everything.
Love it. Love it. All right. Hey, you guys, we'll see you all later. And Tyler, thank you so much. Stay with me. We'll chat here for a minute, and I will holler at y'all later. See you. Thanks so much, man.